You'll never stay motivated with piano if you're not sure what you're actually improving. So today I'm going to show you how to fix that with the one goal method that guarantees real progress every time you sit down to practice. And if you do this right, you'll never wonder, was that a good practice ever again? And a quick bonus, later in the video, I'll show you a cool visual that's going to help you set goals perfectly in your skill zone. If you're new here, my name's Jonathan, and welcome to day 2 of our 7-day practice challenge series to help you get the practice habit installed and get you improving more than you ever thought possible. Now let's talk about the problem with goals. The most demotivating thing about practicing piano isn't the mistakes, it's not knowing if you're actually getting better, it's when you sit down, play for 20 minutes and think, did I actually accomplish anything? And that uncertainty kills consistency faster than anything, but we can fix that by setting goals the right way. And so every time you practice, you need to set one clear goal, and you have to make sure you do that goal right. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But you want to start with one clear goal, not 5, not 3, just one to start. And then when you get really good at this method and when your practice sessions get longer and more efficient, then we can think about 2 or 3 goals. But for now, just stick with one goal that will actually work. And for that to actually work, it needs to check 4 boxes. First, you want to make sure your practice session is time-bound. So give yourself a clear window for your practice session to complete this goal, 10, 20 minutes, whatever, for one practice session, and set a timer as you go. This can help also kind of gamify the experience because you're kind of trying to beat the clock. Next, you want your goal to be specific. And the best way to figure out if your goal is specific enough is, can you explain that goal to someone else in a way that they can understand exactly what you accomplished in that session? So an example of a wonderful specific goal is, my goal is to learn the first 8 movements of my Clementi sonatina with all the correct notes and rhythms. That's something where if you explain it to somebody else, they know exactly what that looks like when it's accomplished. Not as specific goal as if you just say, well, I want to make my sonatina better, or I want to improve on this, because that can mean different things to different people. So when in doubt about that specific checkbox, just think, if I explain this to someone else, will they understand exactly what I mean? Next is you want to think about your how. This is where we get into practice process. So you have your goal, your thing that you want to accomplish. Maybe you want to learn the first 4 measures of a new piece of music. The next question is, how are you going to do that? Are you going to do it by breaking it up into tiny sections? Are you going to do hands together, hands separate and then together? Are you going to analyze the intervals first? What are the steps to get you from not being able to do that now to being able to do that at the end of your timed practice session? And then next, you want to make sure that your goal is appropriate. This is a big one. And this is where simply you want to make sure that your skill or the goal that you're shooting for is just outside your skill set. Here's a visual to help you understand it. Let's say this circle represents your current skill, so things that you can do quite easily. The thing that often demotivates students is when they're shooting for a goal that's so far outside their skill zone, no matter how efficient they are, it's just not a fun process. It's taking way too long to get there because it's just too far advanced for where our skills are now. But on the other side of that, we also want to make sure that our goals aren't too far on the inside of our skill set, because that's of course when we end up getting bored. And so our goal here with this practicing business is to find this sweet spot just outside our current skill set, and that's what we want to aim for with our practice session. So when in doubt about figuring out the appropriateness of your goals, think, what is my current skill level and what feels manageable in this time period I've set for myself? We'll take a look at 2 quick examples, one from early method books, especially if you are a parent watching this. You'll definitely want to apply this with your kids, and then I'll show you an example for more intermediate advanced students. So this is a selection from Piano Adventures Primer, My Invention, and we're getting both hands involved with landmark notes or pointer notes. And so when we're looking at this, or if you're a parent watching this and you're sitting down with your kids to help them practice, you can think, okay, what's one goal that I want to accomplish with them in the next 5 minutes? What happens in most households is kids just sit and, they play whatever, and it could be completely wrong, and that's the practice for the week. But we want to be much more focused than that with this goal setting. And so it could be something as simple as, let's say you take a cue from our day 1 video and you want to start with the 2-minute habit and think, okay, what's something I can do in 2 minutes that would be meaningful? We could even just take that first measure and be like, okay, in the next 2 minutes, I want to confidently be able to name these first 4 notes, F, C, G, C. I want to be able to find my starting hand position really quickly, left hand 3 on F, right hand thumb on C, and I want to be able to play that first measure, just those first 4 beats really confidently with a steady beat. 1, 2. Totally manageable in a short time period. Or if your kids are a little more advanced, because remember we're shooting for just outside that current skill set, we could push the envelope a little bit and think, okay, my goal is to be able to play these first 4 measures complete, steady beat, totally accurately, and so at the end of my practice session, I can confidently go to somebody and play those first 4 bars. And by the way, if you're enjoying this, be sure to tap the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video from this series or any of our other tutorials. Now let's take a look at an example from something more advanced. This is Clementi's Sonatina in C major from Opus 36. And the cool thing about this process is it really doesn't change whether you're a 6-year-old beginner or a 50-year-old intermediate student. It's exactly the same process. So let's say I'm taking a look at this for the very first time and I'm thinking, okay, I've got 10 minutes for my practice session, what's my goal? I might think to myself, all right, well maybe the first 4 measures, maybe I won't worry too much about the rhythm right now, and we're just going to focus on getting all the correct notes and intervals. So again, I might not think too much about the rhythm and just focus on the pitches. Or you might say, all right, maybe in the next 10 minutes I want to be able to clap the rhythm. Accurately, of course. And again, there's not a one-size-fits-all. I'm showing you a variety of examples because when you look at a new piece of music, you want to think, okay, what's my current skill level? Maybe if your sight reading is really good, you can try to get the first 8 measures with accuracy and so on. Or if maybe you're not as strong a sight reader and you don't have as much time, you could think, okay, well, today I'm just going to do the first 2 measures, and again, my goal being to play with all correct notes and all correct rhythms so I can do that with confidence even when somebody is watching. So these examples are designed to give you some sense of, again, when you look at something, think, what am I comfortable doing? How much time do I have? How specific am I in terms of what the outcome is going to be and how I'm going to approach this, and then how will this layer as the days go on? Because the cool thing about this is even if you only nail 2 measures a day, if you do that every day, that's 14 measures of new music, and especially for beginning intermediate students, that could be like half of one piece. So if you get into a groove with this goal-setting business, it could be really exciting for your progress. But now what happens if you're working on these goals and you're still struggling? Well, don't give up. You have options. You can talk with your teacher about it. In fact, you should talk with your teacher about it. And if you don't have a teacher right now, check out in the description below. We have some links if you want to check out online private lessons with us, or if you want to join our super cheap online membership option that also gives you some live instruction from me and my fellow teachers. That's called 88 Keys Online. If you want to check it out, that's down in the description below. And so here's your day 2 challenge. Write one specific time-bound appropriate goal for your next practice session, and then bonus points if you share it in the comments below. And then tomorrow in day 3, we're going to talk about how to make your practice so engaging you'll never get bored again. I'll link it right here on screen. Go check it out when you're ready.